So it's pretty fucked up that something like, I don't know, 11,000 farms and farmers are literally controlling our political parties, like the conservatives, the liberals, pretty much everybody in Canada has come out in defense of supply management of the dairy, poultry, and egg industry, and how they are regulating this business, because literally no other product in Canada has supply management. Like we have beef producers, pork producers, wheat, soy. I grew up in farms with people where there's pork producers and all this stuff, and they did fine. They made good money, and they did not need supply management to protect their business, right? Like Canadians, these farmers, we make good products. We make products that people want to buy. So all this fear mongering about American products and stuff coming into the market, and now we're gonna have shitty milk and shitty cheese and all this stuff. It is just complete fucking bullshit. It's nonsense. Like, this is some of the arguments you're hearing. It's like, oh, the quality is going to degrade. But really, that's bullshit. The quality will increase with competition. And even if you want to go the status route, quality is maintained with regulations, right? So it has nothing to, like, reducing the supply on the market does not make the quality of that product go up. It just literally reduces the supply, so it costs Canadians more. And they're like, oh, well, there's less fluctuation in the market and this and that. But it's like, you want fluctuation in the market. You want prices to go down. Like, this is how things work. Like, otherwise, if you're not, you're just sustaining an inefficient inefficient system. And another thing which you hear these people, these fake conservatives say, these shills, they'll be like, oh, well, we're not subsidizing them. It's not like subsidization, which I also disagree with. But we are subsidizing it, because who is paying more for these products? It is the consumer. So, the directly subsidizing it has issues of its own. It's like the government's coming in, subsidizing a product that we may or may not even need, right? Like, if you look at corn and stuff, how that's pretty much in everything now. That's because the government is highly subsidizing it. But this is almost no better, because they're just limiting the quantity, saying like, oh, the quality is going to be better, but now we're just paying more for nothing. And another thing is, it's like, you could even stop a lot of the products from America coming into Canada, and then you could still remove supply management, right? And then you would still have cheaper products, and there would still be farmers. And they're trying to appeal to your emotions, saying, oh, they're going to lose their jobs, it's going to be hard, and all this. Like, no, it's not. Like, all these other farmers do not get the same help. They're doing fine. So this is fear mongering. These people are just paid off by the dairy lobbyists, who I think I mentioned earlier. They give something like $100 million a year to the government. So a lot of this shit is bullshit. And you see a lot of these shills on Twitter that have, like, 50 tweets, and no face, no nothing, and they're all arguing people on, conservatives on supply management, and there's all these conservatives trying to shame you into following Andrew Scheer and sticking behind Trudeau and stuff, which is dumb. It's like, we need to get Andrew Scheer out of the party, because with him still in it, the conservatives will never win. They will never win, because he's one of these people that is trying to appeal to leftists, but leftists, they don't care if you appeal to them or not. If you don't have the L behind your name, they're not going to vote for you. Okay, so you're wasting your fucking breath if you're trying to get their vote, right? You're not going to get it. Okay, so we need to come out strong against the supply management. You got to get rid of fucking Scheer. Like, he really cannot be the party leader. He has exposed himself for a shill. Same with, like, Doug Ford. Like, obviously he's better than the alternative, but it's like, this is not what these people are saying now. It really does not give me much faith and hope for conservatism in Canada. Like, it really doesn't, because I can't really point and look to any politician right now, other than maybe Maxime Bernier somewhat, that is an actual libertarian, actually for free markets. It is for these things. It's very, very difficult to find any conservative that is like that. And it's like, supply management is devised by communists. Like it was implemented in under Karl Marx, in the Soviet Union and stuff. Like this is why there were bread shortages. And imagine if the government was controlling all of our food under supply management. Like, you just imagine what would happen. Like, I have these people in my comments saying, like, oh, we got these really smart experts working on this to make sure that they give us exactly the amount of product that we need. It's like, they don't know how much product we need. They have no clue. This is why you had all these, starvations and shit in socialist and communist countries, because the government does not know. The way you find this out is on the market. It's through prices. Like people get mad and stuff when there's like a natural disaster, right? And they'll be like, oh, why are they charging so much for water? Why are they charging so much for this? Right? Whereas sometimes it's bad because, they're getting it from another state or whatever. But let's just say there was only a limited supply of bottles of water in this one fucking town. You have to charge more for each bottle of water, because if you don't, the first guy is going to show up, and if you charge 50 cents for each bottle, he's going to buy all the fucking water. And then there's going to be no water left for anybody. So this is why there is fluctuation in prices, is to let you know whether there is scarcity of this product in the market or whether there isn't or not. So this is when the government, they come in, they either subsidize something so you think there's an abundance of it when maybe there really isn't. So you're just dwindling the supply that you do have. And, and then when you do figure out that you're out of it, you're like, oh shit, we just, produced everything, but, they were getting the incentives from the government to keep producing it, right? Because they were getting so much subsidies and they can do it for so cheap. But, this other thing, supply management, all it does is keep these dairy farmers rich, keeps them millionaires. Like we're thinking, we have this idea in our head that these farmers are like just some hardworking guy going and plowing and stuff. It's like, no, these are massive industries. These production of milk and all this stuff. There are very few small-scale farmers anymore. These are businesses. These are massive-scale businesses, and it's bullshit that all of our trade is being held up right now. There's like a trade war essentially being fought over this. Like all Trudeau needs to do to get the tariffs removed is to stop this supply management on the dairy industry. Like that's it. Like Trump has shown that he will make concessions. When China gave them promised to buy like imports, he immediately removed the tariffs. Like the dictators are more willing to work and do a deal with Trump than these fucking liberal leaders all over the world that are all together and like, we're fighting together, united, against this monster. It's like, clearly he is addressing a system that has not been benefiting anybody, right? It's not benefiting anybody, this globalist system, right? Like, free trade is good, right? But the way that it's been done, through these trade systems, through the TPP, through NAFTA and stuff, is just increasing globalization and increasing the wealth gap between people. Like this is essentially what it's doing. Like we're just getting cheap labor from Mexico, and we're giving incentives for people to go to Mexico. Whereas if you just had actual trade, you didn't have all these massive agreements, you could still have trade shit with Mexico, and it's not going to destroy your industries in Canada, right? We just need the government to get out of this shit. And any of these conservatives coming out right now supporting supply management is just a tell to you, it's a sign to you that these people are not conservatives. They are wishy-washy. They will go with the tide. And this is why society has been moving further and further and further left. That's why people are getting more and more and more liberal, because you have these pussy ass fucking conservatives like this in power who just, are too afraid of alienating certain sections of people for this and that reason, or they're shills, they're paid off, and they will sell everybody out. They'll pretend, they will say conservative things, but as soon as they get in office, they just kowtow, they fall back, they make concessions, and it's never for the benefit of Canadians. But that's all I pretty much had to say. If you like my content, subscribe and have a good day. See ya.